Hey, I'm Ozzy from Three Monkey Solderless, home of the world's best solderless pedal board cable kits on the planet for both your audio path and your DC supply requirements. Simplest stuff on the planet to use. There's no tools, really, no wire stripping. Just get a wire and a plug, cut it off with a box cutter, and then just take your plug and you screw it on like that. And you just screw it a couple of times, and when it bottoms out, you're done. I just made a cable that quick. So check us out at 3monkeysolderless.com. Oh, we're having a sale right now, 25% off everything in the store. So while we're all kind of staying at home and messing around with our gear, a little incentive to keep messing around with our gear, which is what we love to do. And that's what we're doing today. We're messing around with our gear some more. So what are we doing? I got a kind of a comment in the Jose pedal, one of those demos. From a gentleman, Chu Young Cho, who was asking that we demo it a little further and do it with some different amplifiers. He wanted to know how it would sound like into the front end of an amplifier versus like the effects loop of an amplifier, if it could be used as a pedal, a traditional boost pedal in a sense, or whether it was only good for going into like the return on a loop or a power amp in. And yeah, I think that's a good thing to explore. I mean, it can be used, yes, in the front end of an amplifier, and setting it up is kind of, you set it up a little different when you're running into the front end versus running it into a power amp. But you could get great results with both ways. They're going to sound a little different, and we're going to kind of show how that all goes down. And so we're going to use these three amplifiers today. And I think we're probably going to do a lot more with the Jose pedal. We're just going to kind of show it off, and we're going to put it in different situations with different equipment and try to go after different tones and maybe have a little fun with that. So for today, we've got these three amplifiers we're going to use. We've got the Overdrive Special, which is running into that basket weave behind me, or behind everything, with 30-watt Celestians in it. That's a vintage cab. We have a Deluxe Reverb on the floor right there, which has got a Celestian cream back in it. And then we have this. It's basically my grease monkey. It's one of the old blockhead Firstborn cabinets, and I built a grease monkey circuit into it and used the Fawn Tolex with the Vox grill, and I think it looks pretty hot. And I've got some original vintage 1962 silver Alnico Celestians in there from a Marshall PA cabinet with the white grill, the half one. That's pretty cool, and I don't use that cabinet, but the speakers, what a shame not to use them, so I figured that's the perfect amp to put them in. So we've got those in that, and I've actually used that for some recording too that you've probably heard, like from the Three Monkeys amps sort of like catalog of tones and things that we did. So we're just going to basically plug the Jose pedal, which you see, which is on top of the grease monkey, and we're going to plug it into the front end of all three amps, and we're actually going to go into the power amp bin, I think, on the Overdrive Special too, to kind of show the difference between going into the power amp versus the front end of an amp as well. So yeah, it sounds like fun. So let's get started. Okay, here's a quick shot again of the Moto Teddy Jose. This is how we're going to have all the controls set up. Master, right, bass, middle, treble, volume 1, volume 2. We're not going to move anything from there, and we're going to be putting it through the front end of the amps in this position. So let's get on the amps. Okay, so let's begin. We've got our guitar, and we've got our Seymour Duncan 78 humbucker in there for your reference, and I think let's go into the Overdrive Special first. So we're going to do obviously the bass tone to show you what the amp sounds like, without the Jose pedal sort of like, into the front of it. So let's hear it. So it's got a nice kind of clean fat tone. So let's go ahead and plug the Moto Teddy up in the front of this thing and see what happens. Any good into the front end, right? Pretty cool. I actually like the way that sounds. I might have to use that. That's pretty cool. So you know what? Let's see what it sounds like if we put it into the power amp. This could get ugly. Let's see, power amp in. All right, so now we're just using the power amp of the Overdrive Special, right? It's very similar, right? We get a little bit more gain, I think, going into the front end of the amp, obviously, because we have a few more tube stages that we're meeting, right? Maybe it would be useful to go into like some basic like amp architecture, right? Is there maybe there's some confusion there that's resulting in a lot of the sort of misunderstanding or maybe uncertainty about what happens when you go into the power amp versus the front end, right? So let's say on this Overdrive, when you're going through the clean channel, you basically have an entry stage, that's one stage. You have, which actually has your tone stack on it in this case. Then you have a second stage driving, right? And then it goes into the phase inverter, right? So there's 3 stages there. When you go into the power amp, you eliminate the first 2 and you just go into the phase inverter, so you're just dealing with 1. And this is the good finger, not the bad finger. So 1 stage versus 3 stages, right? And you also have the addition of a tone stack when you go into the front end of the amplifier to further tailor the sound. So this would probably be pretty close to be considered slaving in a lot of ways, being that, you know, these pedals were designed to sort of replicate the sounds of the amplifiers. And that was sort of where we were getting at, was being able to, you know, find easier ways of obtaining the sounds that require a lot of equipment, like heavy, loud equipment. So in any case, you know, you can see there is a bit of a difference related to the gain stages of the amp, right? So I think the next amplifier we should check out, how it sounds through the front end of, would be the Deluxe Reverb, right? Everybody knows what a Deluxe Reverb sounds like. So we're just going to go ahead and plug into the normal channel of said Deluxe Reverb, and we're going to listen to it. And it has, like, you know, that typical Fender fat scooped kind of very buttery sound, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and violate it. Give it a good rogering with the Moto Titty and see what happens to it. Okay, so we're going through the front end. We haven't touched, obviously, anything on the Moto Titty, right? I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Okay, so this actually, I think it sounds a little fatter than the Overdrive Special, but it's an old amp, so, you know, those Fenders are... They sound great. That may actually beat the Dumble sound. I don't know. That's pretty cool. Oops. Cool. All right, so as you can see, it does work pretty nicely through the front end of a Deluxe Reverb. Alright, sorry about the clams. As usual, clammy sink clams a lot. So let's see now, what are we doing now? Oh, we're going into the grease monkey, right? So let's try the grease monkey. And the grease monkey, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Three Monkeys work, we build amplifiers as well, and this is one of our very popular models, the grease monkey, which is like an AC30 but hot rodded, right? So it had like a boost stage that was in addition to a normal sort of like AC circuit, a master volume, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so it has that, you know, sort of MIDI, sort of boxy kind of sound, you know. Let's see if we set it up a little cleaner. Get the master up a little bit. Alright, now let's hit it with the pedal fire. So we've got, you know, it still takes on the character of the amplifier, right? We're noticing that, which is, you know, a lot of ways a very good thing. You wouldn't want, well, obviously it would be impossible, but you wouldn't want to plug into this thing and then go into your AC30 and end up sounding like, you know, a different entire amplifier. So here you're still going to allow yourself to have some of that sort of voxy kind of... Yeah, we got some good kind of sounds going there. So I think, I don't know which one I like best. I think it's got to be probably between the Dumble sort of deal, right, and the Deluxe Reverb. That does sound good. Alright, so you tell me what you think you like better. And we'll see what You think?